Hey guys, now I'm gonna back here for another video, guys. So yesterday we got a all access look into scouting, and we talked about this in the video yesterday about the scouting deep dive. And let's go ahead and talk about today, guys, is what I think about franchise mode. So obviously, yes, I did play franchise mode a lot on the beta. I kind of spent most of my time playing the yard in franchise mode. And in all honesty, franchise mode is very, very fun this year compared to last year. But the question is, with how every single year it feels like, every single year of Madden, it's the same exact franchise mode. Is this going to be the same franchise mode, but with couple gimmicks here and there? And the short answer is kind of yes. And the reason why is because, yeah, they overhauled the whole entire franchise mode look wise, and that did actually make it look, in my opinion, worse. I like the old look better. It's funny, they completely overhauled the look, and I like the old look better. Now, outside of that though, some things are different. Scouting is completely different. So now scouting, which it doesn't even come out when the game comes out, but it comes out in September. Scouting now is going to go ahead and actually have it so you don't have points anymore. Now, instead of having points, you're going to go ahead and just be able to scout different regions of the country, and you have different scouts, and depending on what scout you send to that region depends on how much publicity it does go ahead and cause, and other teams are going to know about you going ahead and sending your scouts out there, right? So certain players that it's no longer you can scout a 5th round pick and maybe he ends up becoming the star. If you send scouts out there to see how good this guy is, all you're doing is revealing to the rest of the league how good that player is, which, I mean, it is more realistic, I guess you could say, but at the same time, it's disappointing in some aspect. And the reason why I say that is because, like, again, if you're in a 32 person league, you are absolutely destroying the scouting by having 32 people, because you have 32 different teams all scouting in the same concept. There's gonna be no hidden players or no players that could be stars and are like hidden gems, really, because everyone's gonna be scouting in different areas. So let's say, for example, 32 person league, at least 8 people are gonna be in each region, right? So again, I did like how the old scouting system worked with points. I had no issue with that. So I think, if anything, my issue with it was that I think players should have there should have been more hidden gems. I feel like a lot of draft classes were absolute dog water, and you really couldn't do much with them. It would have been cooler if instead EA just said, hey, we're going to come out and give you, some of these draft classes are going to have hidden gems in there, really good players in the 5th or 6th round or 3rd round and stuff like that. Because I will say one thing, playing franchise mode a lot on all my channels, I have really grown to kind of hate the draft, because, and I do this all the time in my videos, is once you get outside the 1st round, you don't really find any talent or potential of any good player, throughout the whole rest of the draft. It really, even a late 1st round pick usually is going to be a bust, and it sucks, but this is how it works. And you can know right away, anything that isn't an early 1st or early 2nd, talent wise, is considered a bust. So I would have rather them focused on that. Now, they did go ahead and implement the scouting system where players can move up and down the draft board throughout the season. I do like that, because in the old Madden, you had the same draft class and the same player had the same number until the draft happened, and that's the most unrealistic thing possible. So I will say, I understand the concept of what they're going for. I just don't. I like the scouting system, meaning, like, you can actually find out more about players. I just wish it was more like you could send scouts places and they come back and, people wouldn't find out as much. I know it in real life, if, like, for example, they say, like, oh, Zach Wilson has a pro day. There's 7 different coaches or different teams there. Here's the teams, right? I don't feel like if they have a 5th round pick out there, guy goes in the 5th round, and the Ravens send a scout out there to look at a 5th round pick, that's not national news. That's not national media attention. No one's gonna care about that. But it looks like in Madden 22 that would be broadcast, and that guy's gonna move up the draft board because of it. So kind of weird for that aspect, but overall, it's whatever. Right here, what you see is more of, now in the beta this was glitched as all heck, but it's more or less just you can talk to your players. It's there's more press conferences. Now with the press conferences, I don't really care for them. I didn't really care for them in the old Madden, so the new Madden there wasn't much of a difference. You just literally go up there. There's no actual audio. You don't hear the reporters asking questions. It just gives you a prompt to read, and you have a certain amount of time to answer either left or right. That's all it really is. And the same concept with this, they just took the old system and actually gave animation, which, I mean, to be honest, it's not a big upgrade in all honesty. Now the big upgrade for this mode, and what a lot of people are excited about and a lot of EA really pushed this, was the fact of having the ability to have staff management and being able to have an offensive defense coordinator, obviously head coach, and being able to fire them, hire them or whatever. Now we had the same concept, I believe, last year or years prior, when it came to if you were an owner of a team, you could hire and fire, I think, your head coach. And obviously I don't think you could fire your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, but which is kind of weird concept, because in reality you can go ahead and just change whatever, like you can change your offense defensive playbook, which kind of doesn't make sense then to have an offense defensive coordinator if you can just change your playbook and change whatever. Like they're like, hey, we run Seattle here, and you're like, nah, I want to run Ravens. You can change that, and it's like, oh, offense coordinator, okay, cool, I don't really do anything here, but a figurehead. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Staff points is cool. The coaching tree I do like, being able to actually break down the coaching tree and actually unlock certain things with your staff points. I do like that. Upgrading your coaches, upgrading your staff members does go ahead and give you some pretty good rewards. I will definitely say that. One of the best features, though, outside of those things, are going to go ahead and be, of course, having the ability each week to really game plan against your opponent, really break down and see what your opponent's going to do, and actually be able to work against that. I think that's a really unique feature, and it definitely is a lot more than last year. Last year was kind of just, oh, hey, weekly training, yeah, run these same 7 routes, and that's it. Now you're actually preparing against the team you're about to play against, what they're good at, what they're bad at, that kind of great stuff. I do like that. It's a W. Outside of all that, home field advantage, going to be interesting in franchise mode. It will be in franchise mode. It's going to be interesting how that is implemented. It's realistic, and I do like that. And I think as the more realism you could put into franchise mode, in all honesty, the better. They did say they're going to add 3 updates to the scenario engine. So, for example, throughout the season, they might make eventually Tom Brady and say, oh, Tom Brady can play to his 52 when he's really good. So, they're going to make him, like an update for Tom Brady. Might make an update for other things that go on throughout the season that makes it more realistic to actual football. But the presentation of getting in the game, obviously with Madden 22, is a lot better. Overall, I will say, is franchise mode going to be good? Is it going to be worth the money? You strictly play just franchise mode, I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be an overhaul in the fact of the design looks different. It's going to be an overhaul in the fact that, yes, it's more animated now. The scouting, I still am on the fence about, and still on the fence about, the, I guess, true difference of franchise mode. But everything I listed here today, if you hear what I say and you say, oh, wow, that sounds amazing, I love that fact, it's going to be a huge deal. One thing I will say, being a person who played franchise mode my whole entire life, I played since freaking 2007 franchise mode. And I've had a friend who I told you guys about who actually, he doesn't play MUT, he doesn't play anything but franchise mode. And what he said is, I think, the best way to end off this video. He said he played the franchise mode in beta. It had everything but the scouting. He said he likes it because it's finally something new. And as he said, it doesn't have to be something huge, but it's something new. And having the same copy and paste every single dang season even having one thing changed and something unique is worth the money. So again, that's coming from a franchise guy who played his whole entire life playing franchise. I have done it too. I've not played franchise nearly as much as he has. So obviously he has a better idea, perspective for the franchise community than I would. But still, something is better than nothing. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.